It's better than getting rammed behind rammed from behind by a Steiner brother at 35 miles an hour, though,
Yeah,
at a stop sign.
yeah. They, or fucking driving through like a Kentucky windy road and they stopping by bundles of kindling wood that they throw at your car. And, yeah, fucking bounce off your fucking window and fucking like Jesus.
Who
How
was your
about how about we used to throw like beer bottles at signs to try and hit them, causing all kinds of broken glass. And I mean, if we hit the sign,
I it's 25 years of going up and down the road throwing beer bottles. It's because number one, the rule was always not to buy bottles.
right.
You know, because that was I remember that was like our biggest thing was you had to drink cans because, and especially when those that last like maybe the 2000 Cadillac DeVille had that when you put down the armrest in the back, there was a plastic little door there that opened for skis. So you had direct access from the back seat into the trunk.
Oh, right,
So
right.
we'd put the cooler right there, and then if you got fucking blue lit, everybody would guzzle their beer, hand it to fucking the co-pilot who would stomp it on the floor, and then hand the cans back to the guys in the back seat who would put them in the fucking deal. So at least when you got pulled over, there was no fucking open containers,
That's
and you
tremendous.
and you weren't going up and down the road throwing fucking cans of fucking beer out of the fucking car.
One time I remember we were driving down the road. It was me and Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce, and the three of us were riding, and we all did a bunch of ecstasy, and we stopped to pee, and I grabbed this styrofoam container, the lid, and the Shanghai comes around the side of the car. I scream as loud as I can and hit him in the head with the styrofoam lid. He almost had a heart attack and died. Oh, it was so funny, but it was so mean because he was so scared.
Who did you
Fuck,
ride with?
man.
Who was your crew in the car, Scotty? Did you keep the same people with you when you go out, or was whoever
It
was?
depended on the territory. Like I rode Kevin and Nat and DDP in WCW and then Pillman and Austin. We used to ride together. And then when I was Johnny Polo, I didn't ride with. I didn't because I didn't do that many shows because I was in the office at producing and
Right.
whatever crap. But then when I went to back to I went to ECW, I rode with Stevie Richards, he's my sidekick. So and him and the meanie, and then who else? And then me and Saturn became really close, and we started riding together
I traveled with you and Saturn a couple. Remember that night we were at that? I don't know. We
in
were someplace.
Portland,
Yeah, and the fight
Portland,
broke out.
Maine. Yeah,
A fight broke out in this barn. I mean, it was like a melee, and the
it was
three.
like it was like a movie western where everybody's fighting, they're grabbing chairs, and it all started with this girl smashed a glass in the guy's face or something,
Right,
or a guy's head.
and we've like kind of just we're standing there, and there was like an 8 foot force field around us.
Yeah, it was
Like
crazy. Like nobody touched us.
nobody came into it, and we
Nobody
just
bumped us by accident.
no. It was just one of those moments in life.
And then we got the pirate flag up after that.
Yep. Arr.
Did you ever get to ride with the posse in ECW in the first run with Todd and Scorp and Fonzie
No, I didn't.
in the Sandman van?
No, I didn't. Not that run. I didn't. But it's funny talking about pissing in the cars. We're riding in the Sandman van, and Tyler had to go to the bathroom. So Tyler pulls his pants down around his ankles, and his mom holds a. His mom was a valet. She holds a can for a bottle from the pee in, but he's so short that he can just stand up on the floor to. It's just so weird looking, and a kid standing up in the car peeing.
The things you see on the road
Yeah.
in any federation.
And unfortunately etched in your memory forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was the worst person to ride with, Scotty? Enough of the pleasantries here. Who could you just not deal with? I think Danny Doring said it was you, but now who would you say it was?
Probably me. I
Was
talked
it-
too much. I was too egotistical.
He said it was stopping for food. He said, he's just like, he always had to eat, and we were always stopping.
Yeah,
God forbid.
Yeah.
That fucking whole eating thing, boy.
And I don't think ECW, I don't think the runs were very long in ECW. I mean, maybe you had to drive to somewhere in Pennsylvania, western, more further west or something, or maybe Jersey.
I don't. I became worse to ride with over the years because as my career started to, especially with the WWE, and my career starting to go down, when I felt like it should be going up, I became like intolerable to be with. I think, because I was always talking, what can I do to get me over? How can I, get a push, get a break, and so I wouldn't have wanted to ride with me at that time frame. Well, Canyon I rode a lot with too. Me and Canyon were really close.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I used to like when we'd all be in the car and like everybody be having a discussion. It'd be going around. And from the back seats, you'd hear from Scotty. Now that's where you're wrong. I just was waiting. I'd always just wait. Like it's volleyed 3 times back to the back seat. Sooner or later, he's gonna. And that's where you're wrong.
We were eating in a restaurant one night before a shoot, and I had the great misfortune for the screen above us to turn to trivia. And there was like a gimmick on the table where you could answer, like everyone in the bar would hit the answer. And like, if you got it in fastest, like you saw the accumulation of points up there, and the meal went much longer than it needed to, obviously. What do you miss about the business, Scotty? We're talking about the horror stories, but there's gotta be stuff. Was it the camaraderie?
The comedy. Like the wrestling business has the funniest people on the planet, bar none. I mean, even Steve Blackman is hilarious. And you look at Steve Blackman, and you would never think that's a funny guy because he's so serious, and he's such a badass. But Steve Blackman's actually hilarious,
As I tell people all the time, like a guy like Dean Malenko. Like Dean Malenko had some of that. He had that Bob Newhart, that dry, just like guys that you would never think would be funny or funny as fuck.
So few guys weren't funny. Like you'd be an anomaly. Like everybody was trying to jump their story in next. Some people were telling stories, and you never had to worry about people throwing, groaners out there because everybody was just funny, naturally.
Because the last thing you wanted to do was be a member of the non-funny diarrhea club.
The unfunny diarrhea club.
Yeah, the unfunny diarrhea club.
Was any time in
When
the
you hear a funny story, me and Kevin don't stay in touch that often because it's just we see each other though. It's great, but so I sent him a text, and I sent him a picture. Dreamer had just made this picture with him naked except for the belt across his balls and his penis, and
what did
I
he
don't
weigh?
know.
What did he weigh at this time?
probably 270.
Okay.
So he wasn't at his fattest, and so I sent Kevin a picture of that, and then I sent a picture of the '72 Olympia lineup, like the top 10 guys all posing from the '72 Olympia, and Kevin's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Don't you remember?" One of the funniest things he ever said was, he goes, "Dreamer looks like he won the Mr. Olympia in '72 Olympia and never worked out again." But it was I can picture from him. It must have been so weird seeing me send him a half nude picture, a completely nude picture of Tommy Dreamer.
I
and
just
Mr. Olympia.
I was like it's like I missed something. Like what? But see, that's the whole thing. You always had a very good memory.